you, Anjali, and thank you for organizing this, Anjali and Prashant, and for the wonderful, really wonderful presentations that we've had from Justice Aftab Alam, Justice Gopala Gowda, Justice Deepa Gupta, Anjana Prakash. It's really been very, very enlightening. Now, the question that I have been asked is that should there be a system of compensation and reparation for those who are acquitted after long periods of incarceration? I can answer that in one word. The answer is yes, there should be. But I would like to go much beyond that, because it's not only being in jail and then, getting acquitted. There are several other things for which I think compensation should be given. Now, all the speakers, have indicated that sedition, UAPA should go. But my view is it is not going to go anywhere. These two laws are not going anywhere. They are going to remain where they are. On the other hand, NSA is being added to this. So you have Manipur, so you have Uttar Pradesh, where the Allahabad High Court struck down some 90 orders under NSA. So it's not only these two, but we are going to have NSA also now pretty active to quell dissent and stop people from talking about these kind of things. So coming back to the topic of compensation, I just want to go back a little bit into history. It's not something new that compensation is being talked about today. It has been there a long time back. I will just mention very briefly 5 judgments given by the Supreme Court. The first one is of Rudul Shah, 1983. He was acquitted. Unfortunately, he was in jail even after acquittal. He was acquitted in 1968, but he was released in 1982 after 14 years. The Supreme Court gave him compensation of 30,000 rupees, which may have been quite a lot at that time, but also gave him the right to file a civil suit for compensation. Sebastian Hongre, in 1984, he was picked up by the police and disappeared. The Supreme Court said, you please produce this Sebastian Hongre. Police said, no, we have not picked him up, right? But the evidence showed that he was picked up by the police. And because he was not produced, it was presumed that he was dead. In any case, he had disappeared. The Supreme Court gave his family 1 lakh rupees as compensation. Professor Bhim Singh, he was an MLA in the Legislative Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir, 1985. He was going to attend the assembly session, and he was picked up and not permitted to attend the assembly session. He filed a case. He's a professor, also a lawyer. He filed a case. Supreme Court said, how can you just pick up a person like this and just, pick him up and take him away? He was given 50,000 rupees compensation. 1989, Saheli, an NGO, they filed a case with regard to death in police custody. 75,000 rupees was granted by the Supreme Court as compensation. Neelabati Behra, her son died in police custody. His body was found near some railway tracks. 1993, the Supreme Court gave 1,50,000 rupees as compensation. So this is not, something new. The Supreme Court has been giving compensation for these kind of disappearances, picking up, death in police custody long time ago. But for some reason, I don't know why, after this Neelabati Behra's case in 1993, perhaps, these kind of illegal arrests did not take place. I don't know. But anyway, the culture of compensation more or less died down. Now we are faced with this problem once again. So you had Nambi Narayanan, a very eminent scientist. He was detained. Supreme Court said give him 50 lakhs as compensation. Look at some of the other cases that we are faced with today. Nambi Narayanan was a few years ago. Akhil Gogoi, arrested and detained under UAPA for more than 1 year. He was discharged. He was not even acquitted. It was a discharge, so no offense was made out. No compensation. There was a mention that there should be some guidelines and all that, under UAPA sedition and all that. Munawar Farooqi, recently this year, he was released by the Supreme Court. Why? Because the police who had arrested him did not follow the guidelines laid down by the Supreme Court in the case of Arnesh Kumar in 2014. So the Supreme Court may lay down guidelines, but if the police says we don't want to follow it, we will not follow it. Munawar Farooqi was arrested, Supreme Court released him. No compensation for illegal arrest. Muhammad Habib, a man from Tripura, was detained in Bangalore and in jail for 4 years. Discharged. No case made out. No case of acquittal. He was discharged. No case made out. No compensation. Persons who are directed to be released but are not released. Long time back, about 25 years ago in Delhi High Court, one person or two persons maybe, they were directed to be released from Tihar jail. Tihar jail said, no, we're not releasing them. They kept them inside for another 15 days. The court said, pay compensation. Sanjay Dutt, he was released by the Supreme Court, granted bail by the Supreme Court. For 2 days, he was in jail in Pune. Why? Because the order could not reach Pune. All right. Delhi, 3 activists who were released, who were granted bail recently. What does the police say? Prosecution, they say, Aadhaar card chahiye. Unka address check karna hai. So they're supposed to be in jail. Did they not check the Aadhaar card when they arrested them? Did they not check the address when they arrested them? What is all this going on? So orders passed by the courts. अगर हम उसे पालना चाहते हैं हम करेंगे, नहीं चाहते तो नहीं करेंगे. आगरा जेल अभी रिसेंटली 2 हफ्ते पहले, persons who claimed to be juveniles had been inside for between 14 and 22 years. Supreme Court said release them. Agra jail said no, we will not. 1-2 दिन they remained in jail until Supreme Court said, listen, we are going to take action. Then they said, all right. What is the consequence of this? The consequence of this is that this Manipur activist, Supreme Court said, listen, you better release him by 5 o'clock. Now, can you imagine? This is the state that we have come to, where the courts have to say कि इसको 5 बजे तक release करो या 6 बजे तक release करो. That is the duty of the prison authorities, of the police, to release a person when the court says you release him. You can't say, no, I will release him whenever I feel like it. You can go on passing orders. जो हमें करना है वो हम करेंगे. No compensation in any of these cases, except for the Tihar jail. This fellow got 1,000 rupees a day for the 15 days that he was there. Fake encounters. No compensation for fake encounters. We had to deal with a case. Justice Deepak Gupta was there with me on the bench. A 12-year-old boy in Manipur was shot in the back on the ground that he is a terrorist who is trying to run away. Justice Santosh Hegde, a very eminent judge who had retired by that time, was asked to look into it, and he said it was a fake encounter. No such thing happened. But I said, ठीक है, compensation not given until, we had to intervene. UP, 119 people have been killed in fake encounters. That Thokdo policy, 119 people. Now, all of them were trying to run away. All of them were trying to snatch guns from the police. All of them were deadly criminals. How is that? Has any inquiry been conducted? Or just because the police shoots them, they say, theek hai, they're dreaded criminals, this, that, and the other, as a part of that Thokdo policy. Assam, now, If a person tries to run away or something, just shoot him. So 5 people have been killed already in fake encounters. What about compensation for them? So it's not only cases of acquittal, but there are so many other kind of cases where compensation must be given. Long detention for many years, and again no compensation given. Surat, the case in Surat was mentioned, 122 people, all of them were not in jail for 19 years, but some of them were in jail for some time. Acquitted, no compensation. Bashir Ahmed Baba, a person from Kashmir, he was going to Gujarat to attend an anti-cancer camp. Right? They said, you're a terrorist, and they put him inside. He was inside for 11 years. What was he going to do? He was going to attend an anti-cancer camp so that he could help the people in Kashmir to understand how to treat cancer and what to deal with cancer. But they put him inside for 11 years, acquitted, no compensation. Agra jail, I have mentioned, 14 to 22 years people have been in jail. So it's not, just a question of acquittal. There could be an acquittal for a variety of reasons. But the whole process, starting from arrest, as in the case of this Mohammad Farooqi, starting from arrest until the framing of charges, until the trial, until the acquittal, the whole thing has to be looked into. So it is very important. It's nice to say that UAPA should go, sedition should go, but like I said, I don't think they're going to go. They're not going to go, and like I said, probably NSA is now going to be used. So how do people deal with this situation? The only way is accountability, and accountability has to be in 2 forms. One is financial accountability, where compensation has to be given, and give them sufficient amount of compensation. If you can give Nabi Narayanan 50 lakhs, surely you can give some good amount of compensation to all these people who have been, wrongly arrested, wrongly detained. Why not? And once the courts start telling the police or the prosecution that, listen, you better pay 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, whatever, I think they'll probably come to their senses. That is one aspect. The second aspect, which we have not looked into at all, because we think that 5 lakh rupees is given, sab theek ho jayega. There's a lot of mental trauma, not only for the person who believes he's innocent and is eventually proved to be innocent. That person undergoes severe mental trauma for being in jail for many years for something that he has not done, some false charges or some useless charges like they've done in Manipur, that, he says something about Gaumutra and put him under NSA. What about the mental frame of mind of that person? What about the psychological impact? What about the emotional impact on him? What about the psychological, emotional impact on his family, his children? They will go to school and they will be told, oh, your father is in jail. Why? Because he's a terrorist. Why? Because he has committed sedition. Why? Because he's a national security threat. And what has he done? He has done nothing. He has gone to attend a camp on anti-cancer, and for 11 years he's there. The child will go through school in 11 years or 12 years. We are not looking at that mental aspect. And that is also very important, because you're going to be, having people who are frustrated, whose families are frustrated, whose friends are frustrated, whose relatives are frustrated, that here is a man who is innocent and wrongly incarcerated. And for what? for doing for something which he hasn't done? What is the kind of society that we are trying to develop, through this process? There is now developing something called soft torture. We know about third degree methods, we know about second degree methods. You have soft torture. Overcrowding in jails, where in a cell for one person, there are 4 persons over there. So who has to sleep on the platform? That the stronger man will decide. So inconvenience at the time of sleeping. Hygiene not provided or pretty bad. I have been to some observation homes for children. In a dormitory of 50 children, they're supposed to be 50, there may have been more, but at least 50, one toilet. What kind of hygiene do you expect? Jails are perhaps slightly better, I don't know. Isn't that torture of some kind? Nutrition. We have dietitians talking about how much food to eat and what not to eat, when to eat. Is all this being studied for the prisoners? What about child prisoners? You had children in detention under Public Safety Act in Jammu and Kashmir. What was the nutrition given to them? Do we know? What about the hygiene? Do we know? Isn't that some kind of torture? Medical facilities? Isn't a person entitled to proper medical facilities, even if he's a prisoner? So what if he's a prisoner? So you have somebody like Hani Babu, whose eye is in a very bad shape, and when it appears that he might lose his eye, okay, then now we will send you to a hospital. But not before that. Stan Swami, everybody has talked about Stan Swami. Why could he not be given medical treatment earlier? Isn't that torture? Soft torture. It is not, that physical kind of torture where you beat up a person and, it's not like that. But it is a form of torture. There was a report recently of a person who is allowed to go out from his cell for 2 hours in a day. So 22 hours he is locked up. Almost solitary confinement or equivalent to solitary confinement. Isn't that torture? So let's look at the whole thing, Let's not look at one aspect, which Anjali and Prashant have asked me to look at, acquittal after long periods of incarceration. Let's look at the whole thing. Where are we heading? That is the question. What is the remedy? Compensation is one. Accountability is another. Mental health is equally important, if not more important, because this is going to remain for the rest of their life, not only for their life, but for the life of their family, the life of their children. They will remember it. Thank you.